We are here in Chicago, and this is my first time in the city, and I really like it a lot. I've heard a lot of good things, but experiencing it for the first time has been a real treat. So we got in on Saturday morning, made our way slowly over to the expo, which opened up at 10. Got all the free stuff that they would hand out. Then we snagged some good old Chicago dogs for lunch, hit up Trader Joe's, came to the apartment, relaxed, got off our feet, made sure we rested really well, watched Princess Diaries. Ate a lot of pasta.
What's the secret to a good pre-race pasta?
Lots of it.
That's sweet.
And went to sleep early because Sunday was race day and we were waking up at 4 o'clock. Sunday morning we got up, got ready, got out the door around 5 o'clock, made our way south to Jackson Park where the race started and finished. The race was set to start at 7, but we got there around 5:30 because we wanted to make sure that we had time to park. We got really lucky with our parking spot, but it was the only open street parking spot that we found. And we saw a lot of people walking from like half a mile to a mile away just to get to the starting line. So I'm glad that we got there so early because we got close parking and free parking. That was awesome. Once we got there, I got my gear bag checked. I packed a change of clothes in case I wanted that or in case it was cold. And I packed a change of socks because I definitely wanted to change socks. I handed the bag over to the staff, got a few hundred meters of a warm-up jog in. Once the race got started, I wished I had done more of a warm-up jog, but you live and you learn. And before heading over to my corral, I made a stop at the porta potties, bringing the official count of the morning restroom breaks to 4. So that's impressive. Yeah, after getting all of that out of my system, I felt like I was ready for the start. I was in Corral C. That was based on the time guesstimation that I submitted when I registered for the half marathon. I should have been in a faster corral. Again, you live and you learn. I made sure to get in the front of the corral so that when the horn did blow, I didn't have to weave in and out of people, but I could just go at the pace that I wanted to, kind of expecting that the people around me were gonna start a little bit slower than I wanted to start. From the jump, I pulled away from that corral and tried to find a groove, and those first 3 miles were worrisome, to say the least. I felt like the pace I was going, which is slower than my Golden Marathon pace, was a bit challenging. But once I hit around like mile 4, I felt like I finally got into a groove. But I think that the first 3 miles I went 6:55, 6:54, 6:54. And then after that, I started negative splitting pretty much every single mile. I got down to the 6:40s. And then ultimately, once I got to about mile 10, I was hitting low 6:30s, 6:20s, and the last mile I think was 6:19. And that was an effort that I was super, super proud of. Like I said in my last video, I didn't really know what to expect on race day, but I sort of set out with a tentative plan to start out a marathon pace, find a groove, and then try and push myself. And that's really what happened. So I was really happy with the result. I didn't get the 125 that I wanted, but my sort of like B goal was sub 130. And so I'm really happy with the final time in 127.02. As far as the half marathon itself, I was really pleased with the elevation gain over the whole course. It's like 44 feet of elevation gain, which is a major contrast to running in Charlottesville. But one thing that surprised me, I expected there to be more spectators on the course. There were just like pockets of spectators. There weren't spectators all throughout. And that was honestly a little bit disappointing. I was hoping to be able to feed off the people a little bit. I would describe it as a kind of lonely course, especially later in the race when there weren't as many packs of runners. One thing I forgot to mention is that in the middle of mile 3, I think, I had to stop retie one of my shoelaces. And so that was a huge bummer. But I made sure to double knot after that. It's hard for me to tell how much gas I had left in the tank because I was really pushing it on that final 1/10 of a mile stretch, but I do feel like there was a bit more I could have given. So in that sense, I'm both bummed at this effort but also very hopeful for a full marathon effort where it is obviously longer. There is going to be a lot more taken out of me, and I'm hoping to run around the same pace, average pace for the whole time. A little bit nervous to just double this distance at the same pace. Yeah, coming through the finish line, an hour and 27 minutes was a huge win for me. I was really excited to see that time, still am excited to see that time. It fills me with a lot of confidence. Doesn't make me feel like qualifying for Boston is a done deal, but it also doesn't make me feel like there's no shot. I think that I do have a chance. I think it's going to be hard. I just think I'm going to have to continue to really build a lot of fitness in the next 6.5 weeks, as well as have just a really good day in Richmond. Yeah, I think at this point it's still really up in the air if this is really possible, but we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it hard. After crossing the finish line, got my banana, got my water, got my medal. Wait a second, this medal is huge. Do you see this thing? It's massive. Here, let's do this. No, I'm not gonna do that. Got my medal, waited for my friends, David and Kendall. They crossed at about an hour and 54 minutes. We collectively decided that it was just a really successful day on all fronts. We loaded up on some post-race food, post-race beer, and post-race Celsius. Once I got my gear bag back, we didn't really hang around super long. We wanted to kind of take it easy. So we went back to the apartment, showered, chilled a little bit, and then got some pho. Loaded up on some sodium and carbs, some pho electrolytes. I'm sorry. Yeah, after the pho electrolytes, we kind of just called it a night. Made dinner here again, watched Princess Diaries 2, and now it's Monday. And we're in Chicago, and we're in a new place. I think it's time for us to just explore. Welcome to Chicago, where freedom screams loudly and runs really fast.